like a boss up here. Yeah, definitely a boss. We always know when the bosses are coming, right, chat? Who are you? Yo, this dude is a not looking too healthy, Chief. Not looking too healthy there, Chief. The Sundered Monarch. Oh, don't cry. You know what this reminds me of? Reminds me of, oh, who's the dude? Vendrick? Where he's just literally sitting there for a second. Okay. He actually aggroed now. Never mind, not Vendrick. What's he doing? Oh, he's making love to a statue. That's okay. He's crying and just oh. I like the beard. Is that any consolation? No, okay. He's still mad. Ow. Hitbox on this is crazy. Okay. Crazy hitbox. Holy shit. Stamina. Oh, shit. Really gaming. Oh, he's really gaming now. He like knocks you back and then pushes you into it. I think we're okay, but get some stamina. Okay, because yeah, I have. Should do it. Doesn't seem like a two health bar situation. Got a lot of health. The only thing I can think of is like if he's gonna go nuts. Yeah, I didn't think so. Hearsay purge. I'm just kidding. Heresy check. To think he used to fit on that throne. Right? He used to, doesn't anymore. Alright, so we still gotta climb to the top for the beacon, so. Up here, these staircases converge. Oh. Ah. Yeah. This.
Justin, I'm sorry. This was all my fault. I just wanted things to be better for us. Forgive me. No, get that away from...
I look upon you with pity, my lost child. For you have been deceived and enslaved by forces who regard you as nothing more than an instrument through which they might enact their blasphemous will and prevent my rightful return. They speak of light while offering you nothing but blindness. Weak hypocrites relying on the malignant power of Umbral. With one breath, then decrying it with another.
Yeah?
They brand me evil, a tyrant, and yet I offer you something they will not. A choice. Reject the fanatical crusaders and the deranged servants of the self-proclaimed judge. Dismiss all of their false dogma.
Dogma?
And the torturous mission to which they have bound you. And only then will you know freedom. And if you would hear it, the truth.
What happens if I do nothing? Oh, okay. Seems like you have to. Hey, skater! What's up, Chief? This dude's huge. He's huge. Briefly, hold on. Let's double back for a moment.
Why do you refuse to open your eyes to their manipulations? To millennia of shameful distortions of the truth? For eons, I stood as mankind's guardian, shepherding them with wisdom and love. Yet in return, I was betrayed. Those three power-hungry malefactors who declared themselves judges turned my own children against me and waged a terrible war of needless slaughter. The judges and their crazed followers butchered those who remained loyal to me. And when I created the Volgar as a means to put an end to the madness, they too were no match for
That didn't last very long.
Resistant hubris of humanity. Even I fell. Although the judges found themselves unable to kill him.
So, I thought we were supposed to be having a conversation, and instead it just goes right into a boss fight. Jeez. Jesus. I think it's safe to say, chat, that we are in the end game. Well, I reckon I should proceed here then, huh?
Shameful distortions of the truth. For eons, I stood as mankind's guardian, shepherding them with wisdom and love. Yet in return, I was betrayed. Those three power-hungry malefactors who declared themselves judges turned my own children against me and waged a terrible war of needless slaughter.
Why can't I
The
take out the
judges
parasite?
and their crazed followers butchered those who remained loyal to me. And when I created the Rogar as a means to put an end to the madness, they too were no match for the heathen forces. In the end, even I fell. Although the judges found themselves unable to kill a god, despite their best efforts. Blackened and corpse-choked by their crusade, the judges banished me to this barren realm, which has served as my prison ever since.
What the hell are my fucking... Where's my vigor?
Mankind set about ruling themselves, free from the divine oppression of which they accused me. And yet, how little time passed before the judges themselves were raised to the status of demigods, figures of worship, their real ambition all too clear. Yet an outcome, the people deluded themselves into believing a triumph. How much of blood has been spilled in their names since my banishment? Far more than was ever spilled in my name. After all the time mankind have had to shape their own destiny, see what they have made of it. War, greed, hatred, suffering, chaos. They believed they were capable of guiding themselves, but have been proven sorely mistaken. Mankind needs me now more than ever. And what of other beings who claim godhood? Where are they? What of Aureus and the abhorrent umbral creature? They are cowards, hiding in foresight and obfuscating shadows. Unworthy of their presence, their communion. And yet here I stand before you with true words and open arms. For I love all of my children, even the wayward ones. Listen to me. You must stop this before you allow yourself to condemn all of mankind for eternity. I am not your enemy, only what my own enemies fear. The loss of the dominion they have established for themselves in my absence. Cease your misguided violence. Now.
That heartbeat is getting fast.
You are in the presence of a god-human. Your god. I formed you from nothing and can just as easily destroy you. Yet you would dare defy my will. The world in which you exist is my world, my home, and yet mankind, my own creation, exiled me from it. You have no idea what it is to suffer such a monstrous betrayal, or to endure the ages of torment which follow.
I can make room here.
Kneel before me and beg for forgiveness. Not just for your own hubris and treachery, but those of your entire deplorable kind. You are in the presence of a god-human.
Well,
Your god.
guess this is timed. We'll
But
go a little
those
faster.
of your entire deplorable kind. You are in the presence of a
Guess
god-human.
that doesn't quite work. Seems like there's a choice to be made in this fight. Wonder if you like stand in that ring and just fucking let him burn you to a crisp if you can like side with him. Let's see. I mean, it seems like that'd be taking the easy way out, but
Why do you refuse to open your eyes to their manipulations? To millennia of shameful distortions of the truth. For eons, I stood as mankind's guardian, shepherding them with wisdom and love. Yet in return, I was betrayed. Those three power-hungry malefactors who declared themselves judges turned my own children against me and waged a terrible war of needless slaughter. The judges and their crazed followers butchered those who remained loyal to me. And when I created the Rogar as a means to put an end to the madness, they too were no match for the healing forces. In the end, even I fell. Although the judges found themselves unable to kill a god, despite their best efforts. In a world left blackened and corpse choked by their crusade, the judges banished me to this battleground, which has served as my prison ever since. Meanwhile, mankind set about ruling themselves, free from the divine oppression of which they accused me. And yet, how little time passed before the judges themselves were raised to the status of demigods, figures of worship, their real ambition all too clear. Yet an outcome, the people deluded themselves into believing a triumph. How much blood has been spilled in their names since my banishment? Far more than was ever spilled in my name. And now, after all the time mankind have had to shape their own destiny, see what they have made of it. War, greed, hatred, suffering, chaos. They believed they were capable of guiding themselves, but have been proven sorely mistaken. Mankind needs me now more than ever. And what of other
no!
who claim godhood?
Damn it! I died way too early on that.
What of
Died
others
way too early.
abhorrent the hubris of humanity?
I need to take a flame resist potion or something too.
Shadow, deeming you
Yeah, I don't think I'm getting a choice here. Don't think I am. Okay, why that stuff keeps ending up on the bars, but I think I'm going to... try to make this quick.
Why do you refuse to open your eyes to their manipulations? To millennia of shameful distortions of the truth? For eons, I stood as mankind's guardian, shepherding them with wisdom and love. Yet in return, I was betrayed. Those three power-hungry malefactors who declared themselves judges turned my own children against me and waged a terrible war of needless slaughter. The judges and their crazed followers butchered those who remained loyal to me. And when I created the Rogar as a means to put an end to the madness, they too were no match for the heathen forces. In the end, even I fell. Although the judges found themselves unable to kill a god, despite their best efforts. In a world left blackened and cold-struck by their crusade, the judges banished me to this barren realm, which has served as my prison ever since. Meanwhile, mankind set about ruling themselves, free from the divine oppression of which they accused me. And yet, how little time passed before the judges themselves were raised to the status of demigods, figures of worship, their real ambitions all too clear.
Okay, dude, come on. That's so annoying.
To believing a triumph. How much blood has been spilled in their names since my banishment? Far more than was ever spilled in my name.
Dude, the range on this guy's just dirty.
After all the time mankind have had to shape
Melee
their
is
own
just not
destiny,
well suited to this either because it's
see
like
what they have made of it. War, greed,
they just
hatred,
constantly seep
suffering, chaos.
flames.
They were capable of guiding themselves, but have been proven sorely mistaken. Mankind needs me now more than ever. And what of other beings who claim godhood?
There's literally 4 of them right here.
What of Horus and the abhorrent umbral creature? They were cowards, hiding in false light and obfuscating shadow, deeming you unworthy of their presence. Their
I can't
companion.
hit them
And yet,
when they're uphill
here I
like that
stand
because they have the
before
fucking
you
shield.
with true words and open arms. For I love all of my children, even the wayward ones.
No, I'm trying to backstep, dude. Come on. Come on, man. Seriously? I'm trying to backstep, not sidestep. What the fuck is this, man? This fight's not even that hard, dude. Like, I'm getting trolled by the fucking rolls. Where the flame gets dropped. Get back in there. It's gonna be fine. This is it right here. It's gonna happen. So I believe that the important thing here is to find the mark
rise to their manipulations, to millennia of shameful distortions of the truth. For eons, I stood as mankind's guardian, shepherding them with wisdom and love. Yet in return, I was betrayed. Those three power-hungry malefactors who declared themselves judges turned my own children against me and waged a terrible war of needless slaughter. The judges and their crazed followers butchered those who remained loyal to me. And when I created the Rogar as a means to put an end to the madness, they too were no match for the heathen forces. In the end, even I fell. Although the judges found themselves unable to kill a god, despite their best efforts. In a world left blackened and corpse-choked by their crusade, the judges banished me to this barren realm, which has served as my prison ever since. Meanwhile, mankind set about ruling themselves, free from the divine oppression of which they accused me. And yet, how little time passed before the judges themselves were raised to the status of demigods, figures of worship, their real ambition all too clear. Yet an outcome, the people deluded themselves into believing a triumph. How much blood has been spilled in their names since my banishment? Far more than was ever spilled in my name. And now, after all the time mankind have had to shape their own destiny, see what they have made of it. War, greed, hatred, suffering, chaos. They believed they were capable of guiding themselves, but have been proven sorely mistaken. Mankind needs me now more than ever. And what of other beings who claim godhood? Where are they?
This feels a lot better.
What of Odious and the abhorrent umbral creature? They are cowards, hiding in foresight and obfuscating shadow, deeming you unworthy of their presence, their communion. And yet, here I stand before you with true words and open arms. For I love all of my children, even the wayward ones.
Who you know?
I look upon you with pity, my lost child. For you have been deceived and enslaved by forces who regard you as nothing more than an instrument through which they might enact their blasphemous will and prevent my rightful return.
Hear that he is decaying some. Is this really the end? Just killing ads? That's it? The light of the umbral lamp knows no satiation. consuming even a god. Orius' will done by his heresy-tainted champion, rewarded only with annihilation. With renewed influence, Orius unleashes his radiance to purify those deemed transgressors. In light, they fall. I think we got the bad ending, chat. We got the radiant ending. GG, guys. That kind of felt like a bad ending to me. Maybe it's like morally gray, you know? But that definitely felt like we got a bad ending. Even though we did like all the quests. GG. Guys, we beat the game with only the bucket. We did it. We did a challenge run all at once. Yeah, I get this sense that that door that we weren't able to open, I'm willing to bet you that there's like a way to get it open by doing the quest from the cleric guy. I'm willing to bet you that somehow you get access to that room. Because it's like kind of off the beaten path, and it's the only area that I really feel like we didn't comprehensively explore. And so I think we might have left that ending on the table, so to speak. Yo, GG's bucket only. Hell yeah. No, the buckets actually did pretty well. The buckets actually did pretty well, I will say. I figured it would be a meme, just being like, oh, we're gonna use the shitty starting weapon as the worst class in the game to beat it, but we did it. We did it, chat. No, this is a great game, guys. I honestly felt like there were definitely some things I want to talk about from like a critique standpoint, but this game was great. I think it was it's very different from Lies of P, because I think a lot of people, you know, they're kind of like, you know, what's, you know, should I get this or should I get Lies of P? I mean, here's the thing. I am sponsored, so like I'm obviously trying to push sales of Lords of the Fallen today. So you guys should definitely check out the game. But they're honestly, they're so different from each other. They're in the same genre, but I will say Lies of P very much leans into like the fast-paced combat, whereas this is a little slower, and I personally think focuses a lot more on exploration. And I think it really depends on what you prefer. Like, do you want the get good, or do you want the like just really want to enjoy a challenging game, but like just kind of get lost in the awe of it? And I think that's where Lords of the Fallen does really, really well. It's easy to get lost in this game, and sometimes it is a little frustrating when you get lost. But when you do get lost, you usually run into a boss. And usually the rewards from that boss, I mean, here's the thing, I only did buckets, so, you know, take that with a grain of salt. But, I mean, the rewards for getting lost are quite nice. I mean, you find weapons, and you find upgrades to your flask, or you know, your crucifix, or whatever the heck it is that you heal with. I know I didn't kill all the bosses. I know I probably missed a couple. But I think that this game really rewards exploration, and it does so in a way that's not just so... you know, confusing, I guess. I mean, there are confusing elements in that. I think that the level design could use a little tweaking, but again, like, it's in the name of exploration, and the whole point is to get lost in it, right? I mean, that's... So again, grain of salt. I think that they could modify the level designs in such a way that there's a little bit better landmarking. I think that's probably the one area that I would say would help a lot, especially in the Burning City. It's I want to say Chaldean, but it's Diablo. That's Diablo 4. But it is Cal something. I think that area, like everything, it's a great area. It's probably one of my favorite areas in the game, but it's so easy to get lost because everything looks the same. It's like burning buildings and fire everywhere, and every road that you go down looks exactly the same. If there were landmarks in the environment to where you're like, oh, I recognize this, you know, I recognize this tower with, you know, bell on it, or I recognize this church with, you know, whatever. I'm not going to make great examples because I've been awake too long, but I think if there were better landmarks, just like specific types of buildings and foliage and things like that, to where as you're progressing through the level, you really have a good understanding of where you are. I think the early game really struggles with that. I think the late game actually did a really good job with it. I thought that the upper city was a lot better designed with that, with the overall progression of it. I think that the swamp, the Burning City, and the like scaffoldings that you're scaling to get to like all like that kind of interconnected area really struggled with that. But overall, I think the environment of the game is beautiful. I loved the snowy area. That was so much fun. That was probably my favorite area. Although the boss I felt was a little underwhelming. I honestly would say that most of the endgame bosses were a little bit underwhelming, but I will say at the same time, I kind of got a feel for like what to look for around the time that we killed the lamp guy who's like, give me that lamp. That guy. I think around the time we killed him, I really started to get this game. And so I say it's underwhelming, but it could be just the fact that like I was probably a bit over leveled from that point on till the end of the game. So great game though. I think the combat, like there's a ton of weapons and stuff that I haven't even begun to mess with. Like I just did the buckets and I thought that was kind of obnoxious, but I know that there's going to be some dirty builds in this game. I know that much. Just absolutely dirty builds. And I know I was watching Dist, and Dist already was coming up with some absolutely disgusting stuff. But yeah, it looks like it took me about 30-ish hours to beat. I will say I was expecting closer to 40, but again, I do think we kind of cruised through the end game. The boss that gave us the most trouble, I think, is probably a new class. Oh, that's interesting. Replay value, Pog. Unlocked a new class. Radiant Purifier, Martial Priest. Rigorous training, both spiritual and somatic, serves them unflinchingly, cleansing anything deemed anathema to the Church in Aureus. Offense-focused class, vulnerable to physical harm, but with greater talent for magical damage. Nice. You want to begin a new journey.